All right, let's talk about something I call the mover's mortgage trap. And if you're in a military family, you know this cycle all too well. You get your orders, you buy a house, you make all the payments, and then, just when you're getting settled in, boom, it's time for the next PCS. But when you go to sell, you're left wondering, what happened to all that money I paid? Where is the equity I was supposed to be building?
It's a seriously frustrating feeling, right? You get your orders, you sell the house, and you look at the final numbers. And after all those monthly payments, the actual ownership you can take with you, it's just shockingly small. So where did all that money actually go? And listen, you are not imagining it. For anyone on that typical 3 to 5 year PCS cycle, the traditional mortgage system can feel like a total trap. You think you're making payments to build wealth for your family, but it really feels like you're just building it for the bank. This is a real problem, and it's baked right into the way most home loans are structured.
So, to understand why this keeps happening, we've got to pull back the curtain on this one key concept: front-loaded interest. This is the hidden trick, the mechanism that makes the first few years of your mortgage so different from the later years. Now, the technical term for this whole process is amortization, which, get this, literally means to kill off a debt. But how the debt gets killed off is what creates the trap for frequent movers. See, you make the same payment every single month, but what that payment is actually doing for you changes a lot over time. This slide just lays it all out there. In the first 4 years of a typical loan like this one, a staggering 75% of your total payments can go straight to the lender as interest. Think about that. You've paid in almost 200 grand, but only about 50,000 of that has actually gone toward your principal. That's the part that builds your equity. The rest, poof, gone to interest. And here's the real kicker. This isn't some accident. Lenders structure loans this way because they know, they've done the math, that the average homeowner sells their house within that 4 to 13-year window. They get to collect the biggest chunk of interest right up front, which just so happens to be perfectly timed for when a military family has to PCS and sell.
Okay, so that's the problem. The game kind of feels rigged against you, doesn't it? But what if you could change the rules of the game? What if there was a strategy that lets you fight back without having to earn a single extra dollar? Well, there is, and it's all about changing how your money moves. The key here isn't getting a new job or some side hustle. It's all about financial engineering. We're going to use a tool called a home equity line of credit, or a HELOC. The easiest way to think about it is like a flexible credit card that's secured by your home's equity. By turning this into the central hub for all your finances, you can transform your household into this super efficient debt-destroying machine. And it's a really simple 3-step process. Okay, number 1. Instead of your paycheck going into a checking account, you deposit all your income directly into the HELOC. 2, you pay all your normal monthly bills, the mortgage, car payment, groceries, you name it, directly from that same HELOC. And 3, any cash that's left over at the end of the month gets used to make these powerful extra payments that go straight to your mortgage principal. Now here's where the magic of this system really kicks in. A HELOC calculates interest based on your average daily balance. So look at the graph here. When your paycheck hits, boom, the balance on the HELOC plummets. And even as you pay your bills during the month, that average balance stays way lower than it would otherwise. You're basically using your own cash flow to sit on top of the debt, which just dramatically reduces the interest you pay in real time.
I know. You're probably thinking, okay, this sounds a little too good to be true. I get it. So let's just look at the math, because, well, the numbers don't lie. The biggest question people always have is about the HELOC's interest rate, right? Because it's often a little higher than your main mortgage. And that's a totally valid concern. But the secret isn't about the rate of interest you're paying. It's about the type of interest.
Think of it like this. A traditional mortgage, that's like a bar tab where your first bunch of payments just cover the most expensive cocktails, and you don't even start paying for the cheap stuff until way later. A HELOC with simple interest, on the other hand, is like paying for each drink as you order it. Every single dollar you put down immediately reduces your total bill. So even if the drinks are a tiny bit more expensive, you end up paying way less overall because your tab is so much lower for most of the night.
And the numbers just prove it. Look at this. A traditional loan costs you over $722,000 in interest over 30 years. But with this line of credit strategy, you pay it off in less than half the time, and you save nearly $400,000 in interest. That is life-changing money. That's the difference between retiring on time and working for another decade. But now let's focus on what matters most to you as a frequent mover. This slide is everything. After just 4 years, a typical tour length, the old school method has paid down maybe 49 grand in principal. But using this strategy, you could pay down between 193 and 218,000. That is roughly 4 times the equity, 4 times the cash you can take with you to your next duty station.
So let's bring it all home, shall we? This isn't just about some abstract numbers on a spreadsheet. This is about giving you real, tangible freedom and financial power every single time you have to move.
So here's the bottom line. For military families, building equity fast is the whole ballgame. You need that money for the down payment on your next home. This strategy isn't a gimmick. It is a mathematically sound system for generating usable equity way faster than the old way. We're talking about the difference between showing up at your next station with a small check or a really, really big one. And what's the potential long-term prize here? In this scenario, it's over $400,000. That's the amount of interest you simply don't have to pay the bank. It's money that stays with your family, where it belongs. By just redirecting your cash flow, you turn your biggest liability, your mortgage, into your most powerful wealth-building tool.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. The standard mortgage was designed for someone who stays in one house for 30 years. But that's just not the military life, is it? So you have to ask yourself, is your mortgage built for a permanent home, or do you need a financial strategy that's built for your life's next move?